again, Will Smith's simp levels have been over 9,000 for a long time. He's sad. Just sad. Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS, All About the Goddess. The Goddess Next Door bears all in the art studio to catch a campus stalker in this action-packed ISIS series mystery. Get your copy of ISIS, All About the Goddess in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. As Jada Pinkett goes on the press tour for her new so-called memoir-worthy, more unflattering stories are coming out about her husband, Will Smith. And according to Tommy Davidson, who was making an appearance on Shannon Sharp's podcast, he says that Will Smith confronted him after he participated on a screen kiss with Jada Pinkett when they were filming the 1998 movie Woo. Now, as Tommy Davidson was going for a take for a kiss of Jada Pinkett's character in the movie Woo that was being shot, what happened was after he kissed Jada Pinkett, Will Smith stormed up to him and confronted him about this kiss. And as he confronted him about this kiss, he was just so emotional about Tommy Davidson kissing his wife by playing this role that he couldn't even come up with the words. And at that time, Jada basically wound up pulling him away after Tommy got up out of his seat and confronted him regarding the situation, not even knowing what Will Smith was upset about. Now, this entire situation that Will Smith had with Tommy Davidson was textbook beta male behavior, like I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis, and the kind of behavior that power simps participate in, like I talk about in my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. And it's clear to me that Will Smith wasn't looking to love Jada Pinkett. No, like many simps out here, what he was looking to do was possess Jada Pinkett. And because he was looking to possess Jada Pinkett, basically he didn't see her as a person who was out here doing an acting job. No, he basically saw her as an object that was a part of his rose-colored reality. And once he saw another man going out here and kissing his wife, what he did was get upset about this man disrupting his rose-colored reality. And as he got upset about this man going out here and kissing his wife, this is what triggered him to the point where he got emotional. And as he got emotional, he basically showed me that he wasn't a man who knew the basic male life skills as related to navigating through your emotions, where yes, you can have the feelings, but you don't act on the feelings that you have. And because this man didn't know how to go out here and navigate through his emotions, he jumped up out of his seat, acted impulsively after the take, looking to attack Tommy Davidson the same way Big Moose would want to attack Reggie in an Archie comic for going out here and looking to approach Midge. And again, this is the type of juvenile behavior that oftentimes leads to a lot of guys going out here and putting themselves in bad situations. This is something I saw growing up when I used to go to IS 148 when I was 12 years old and 13 years old, and even when I was in Park West High School, guys getting so emotional over a girl that they were not really thinking critically about more important things, such as their dignity, such as their self-respect, and most importantly, their reputation and their freedom. And way back as 1998, Will Smith was just too caught up in his feelings about Jada Pinkett to really think critically about this woman and not think critically and say, hey, this woman is an actress, and if she's an actress, then chances are if she's going to go out here and star in romantic roles, she's going to be kissing guys, and if she's going to be kissing guys, then I have to accept that, okay, she's playing a role with those guys. And if she's going out here playing these kind of roles and wants an acting career, then maybe I shouldn't get involved with that woman. But no, power simps like Will Smith, they don't think critically. No, they just get caught up in their feelings about a woman. And as they get caught up in their feelings about a woman, they look to possess that woman because they don't see them as a person. And that's what Will Smith basically was doing with Jada Pinkett as related to that situation. And that situation just showed how much of a simp Will Smith was as related to Jada Pinkett. And again, this whole incident was quite ironic when you think about it, because Will Smith basically foreshadowed what happened as related to the infamous slap at the Oscars, as related to his codependent relationship with Jada Pinkett, really not ever thinking critically to say, hey, I'm an up-and-coming star making $20 million a picture, and here I am getting upset that my wife is on the set of some no-budget black comedy like Woo and kissing some dude. I mean, not ever thinking about the bigger picture as related to his career. And back then, at least Jada Pinkett did pull him back because she saw that she had a lot to lose as related to Will Smith's bag. But now Will Smith basically has wound up losing his bag, all because he's so caught up in his feelings about Jada Pinkett and can't see this woman objectively. And because he can't see this woman objectively, what has happened to Will Smith is he's just, again, a pathetic, sad case of a man. And I wouldn't even call him a man at this point, because a man understands there's a line as related to women, and if a woman disrespects you, then that's the point where you have to take your respect by taking yourself away from that woman. But Will won't take himself away from that woman. No, he continues to sacrifice his intangibles like he did on the set of Woo, getting emotional over a woman, kissing another actor in a role, to the point where you want to confront that man, and want to confront that man to the point where you're going to go out here and put your bag at risk in Hollywood, and even put your freedom at risk, because if things had gone the wrong way with that entire incident on that set, we wouldn't be hearing about Will Smith being the $20 million a man from the 90s to the 2000s. No, we'd be hearing about Will Smith winding up in the penitentiary with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles. And Mr. Sprinkles would be sprinkling special sauce on his backside after going out here and trading him for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light, packets of Taster's Choice coffee, packets of snack pack puddings, peppermint balls, Kit Kat candy bars, off-brand lemon cookies, off-brand Oreo cookies. That's what we'd be hearing about Will Smith. And it's clear to me that Will Smith has been a simp for an extended period of time, even before the Oscars, because if you're out here getting in your feelings about your woman being on the set of a romantic comedy with a man kissing your woman, then you definitely are in the wrong line of business, because this is what's going to happen if your wife is an actress. Your wife is going to be hugged up on dudes. And if you don't want your wife to be hugged up on dudes, then you do what many producers go out here and do when they marry an actress and tell her to get out of the game. And I've read stories about actresses who, once they got involved with a guy who was making good money, and because they respected their husbands, what they did was stop acting and went out here and raised a family, and again did this because they respected their husbands. But Jada has no respect for Will, and as she's shown her contempt for Will Smith, this is where people feel like it's okay to go out here and tell stories about his just dysfunctional behavior, because the reason why Will Smith is in the situation he is due to the dysfunctional way he was raised in the home with his mother and his dysfunctional beta male father, and because he never learned proper male life skills or male survival skills. He goes out here and is escalating things that are minor regarding a woman who he thinks is honorable but has dishonored him. And again, in this whole situation, it foreshadowed everything as related to his very dysfunctional behavior that we saw at the Oscars, because it's clear Will was too caught up in his feelings about Jada. And again, he didn't really love Jada. He loved the idea of possessing Jada. And as he was looking to possess Jada, what he wanted to do was protect the possession that he had, not go out here and defend the honor of a real woman. No, he wasn't in love with the real Jada Pinkett. The real Jada Pinkett basically had no respect for him, and again, had no regard for him, and he himself just wanted to have a woman as a possession, and his behavior is the same kind of behavior I saw from many of the dope boys when I used to go to junior high school and high school. Whenever they got a girl, they would always get so emotional when somebody as much looked at their girl and wanted to go out here and get into a fight with a dude over a girl in order to show how tough they were. And what they would do is go out here and look to flex on dudes, look to get in fights with dudes, and they would go out here and do crazy stuff like dress their girl up in all sorts of tight clothes, and then as she was getting attention, want to go out here and get up in guys' faces in order to show how much of a man that they were. But in actuality, what they were showing was how insecure they were, because a man who is secure in himself sees that his woman is a reflection of him, and her behavior if it reflects on him, and he wants to appear to be respectable, he's going to make sure that his wife is not out here in doing certain things, and he's going to also go out here and make sure that he is in self-control whenever he's involved with his woman in public, because his public appearance again reflects on him. And if he's out here getting emotional over women as related to a acting role, then he's really showing again he's a really weak man, because most guys whose wives are actresses, they accept, okay, she's going to be kissing other dudes, but the only thing he will get upset about is if she's going out here letting guys get their carbon rods out when she drops the skid mark Fredericks of Hollywood thong, and he's getting in there getting a taste of the atomic waste in the dressing room. That's the only thing that a dude would get upset about, but he would understand, okay, she's playing roles, and she doesn't even care about this dude from the jump, because true to the game, women who are actresses, they're like, look, I don't even care about this dude. I'm thinking about what they're going to be having for lunch, and I'm hoping to get through this scene and be done with it. I mean, when I look at Dondra T. Whitfield and how he handles things, it's completely different. I mean, he'll call up his wife, Sally Richardson Whitfield, and let her know, okay, the scene is going on and nothing is going on. And he'll sit there and talk to his wife about these scenes. This is from what he has said. And again, the way he handles it is very different than the way Will Smith does. And he accepts, okay, this is what's going on, what's going down, and lets it be an acting role. Again, that's how a man operates as related to these kind of scenes. And that's how the way a actress acts. She's like, okay, I'm doing this scene, but I'm not really into this dude. I'm just playing a character, and it is what it is. But Will, basically, again, because he is living in the rose-colored reality and wants his smooth world with the perfect Jada, can't see the flaws as related to this woman. And because anything that any guy coming up and giving her attention disrupts his smooth world, what he wants to do is go out here and hurt that guy, similar to the way power simps want to hurt guys, because power simps want to be able to have their fantasy of their ideal woman and don't see her as a real person with flaws. And this is the thing that has bit Will Smith on the backside as related to his relationship with Jada Pinkett. Will Smith basically put Jada on a pedestal, refused to see her flaws, and because he couldn't see her flaws, he couldn't see the lil sexual deviant who was extremely ratchet, selling drugs, and was basically out here looking to be a thug's goonette, and couldn't see that this wasn't the woman that was right for him from the beginning. Again, couldn't see all of this from the beginning about this woman, and was willing to fight another actor and destroy his reputation as far back as 1998, showing me that the half of the problem is Jada, but the other half is Will. And part of the problem with Will is he doesn't know how to operate as a man or how to move as a man in these streets. And because he doesn't know how to move like a man in these streets, this is what led to him winding up with a possible crisis situation in 1998 that in 2023 led to Will winding up going from being a man who was about to be elevated to the highest position in Hollywood as a black actor with an Oscar to being a pathetic man in crisis who nobody respects or regards, and a man so pathetic that the entire world has lost respect for him. And as he's wound up losing respect, he's shown us that he has no incentive to go out here and take his respect back. And that's where Will Smith wound up losing face. But with that whole incident with Tommy Davidson, we saw how, again, another man handled things, because he basically, after Will confronted him, jumped out of his seat to check him, and then also said, hey, let's go talk about this at the side like two men do. But Will couldn't do this because he was a beta male. And again, beta males, they want to get in your face about a woman. But when it comes down to conflict resolving like a man, most of these men don't know how to resolve like a man. And because they don't know how to resolve like a man, their problems fester and wind up doing damage to them later in the future as related to their personal and professional lives. And this is what happened to Will Smith almost over 25 years later. Will wound up going from being an A-list man to being a pathetic man that everybody no longer respects, regards, and sees as nothing more than a joke. Now, if you want to learn how to avoid being like Will Smith, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com. And that book will teach you how to identify female predators like Jada Pinkett and avoid dealing with them in the first place. And if you want to learn how to break out of the paradigm of beta male behavior that Will Smith is in right now, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, and learn how to identify this dysfunctional behavior and finally start breaking out of the beta male paradigm that leads to a man going from being a successful man to being a man in crisis with a life that's going nowhere. And if you want to see me be able to make more videos about men's issues like this, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.